trying to condense what we'd done over the past decade into like just small memories, then yeah, like when we first started out, we would be taking a bus over to the other side of like the county to pick up like a really beat up old kick drum or whatever, and like just put stuff together. But that's what we used to do. Like we had to like, we built a drum kit for Ross. That's something that I think has been distinctive for this band, just like kind of, improvising and making stuff up as you go along and kind of making the best of, what you've got, and not really worrying too much about the airs and graces and the conventions.
The highest point for me in this band was, I guess it's like playing, it's always been like based in like Reading and Leeds, I always think. I think that when we did the main stage at Reading and Leeds, the second time, we did it twice, and the second time we did it, we were really high on the bill, and that was amazing, probably the biggest crowd we played, so it just went really well. And then this year as well, when we played it, and we smashed all the gear and stuff. I mean, that sounds childish, but it just seemed right, and there's just something about that just seemed like kind of where you wanted to get to when you were a kid, you know what I mean?
That was like living out a fantasy, I guess, which when you have those moments, it's like, it's not lost on you when you're like, oh yeah, I kind of imagined doing this when I was 14, and then you're doing it, you just like, that always sticks with you, I think.
Periods that have been like very dark and very low, of course, I think that maybe the writing of this last record certainly was writing songs and like being in the band, but ultimately kind of, you start to realise that it's like eating away at the rest of your life. It's kind of destroying the rest of your life, you know what I mean? And even as much as you love it and you nurture it and you want it to grow, the more it grows, the more it eats, and that's a really difficult thing to come to terms with sometimes,
We've had a lot of hairy moments, and over 10 years, I think to some degree it's to be expected. I had a tough one when I got septicemia on tour, and I had to go to the hospital after that, and they wanted to keep me in for 10 days. Like I had to be on intravenous antibiotics.
Been knocked out a few times and I broke my hand. I think the worst was probably the NME Awards, where I got stabbed in the, I fell on a table and stabbed myself in the back with a big shard of glass from a vase, and like tore into my kidneys, and went to the hospital, got it stitched up. They didn't do a good enough job of it, so I started bleeding out when I got back to the NME Awards, and then went back to the hospital, got stitched up properly. But the first guy, he sent me home. He said, "Look, you've got to go back to your hotel now and go straight to sleep." If I had done, there would have been no way that I would have been getting up in the morning. And so really going against his advice and going back to the party essentially was the best thing I could have done, which is weird. You wouldn't have thought so.
The future of the band is exactly the same as what it's always been. We don't really plan it out too much. We just see what happens. We've got some demos, we've got some ideas, we've got songs, we've got finished songs, we've got demos, so we'll just see.